We're listening to music. It's so faint in the background. I cannot tell you. It's we can hardly hear the music, but I think it's playing a Christmas song of some kind. Listen very carefully. You can hear the bells. Oh, it stopped. So that's the end of it. Good morning, everybody. Uh, First of all, I'd like to say good morning to my spirit guide, Gregor, who is to my right side. I'd also like to say good morning, Chris.
Good,
Good morning, my lovely Chris.
good morning, everyone.
Yes, well, it's Thursday. Have you noticed how very quickly Thursdays keep coming around and then they come around again and then they come around again and again? All right, I'm in New York City. I'm in a different setting. Have you noticed I'm sort of got these fluffy, very fancy pillows behind my back? And sorry, I'm going to just switch my phone off. It occurs to me. There we go. Yes, and I've been relegated to the bedroom actually. So this is where I am. Anyway, so Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. You know that one, Chris?
I
Please
have
put a
heard that one.
please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, then a halfpenny will do. My grandson looks at me. He says, "What's a halfpenny?" And well, a halfpenny is a half penny, which we used to have. And if you haven't got a halfpenny, then a farthing will do, which, yes, I can remember vaguely having farthings when I was a little girl, which is a quarter of a penny. A coin, it's a sort of it was like a copper coin with a little wren, a little bird, little tiny bird on the front of it. It was called a farthing. So if you haven't got a penny, then a halfpenny will do. And if you haven't got a halfpenny, then a farthing will do. And a farthing will do. And if you haven't got a farthing, well, God bless you. Do you remember that, Chris?
I do. And how sad is that? But it reminds me of Scrooge and the Christmas Carol.
Well, there are a lot of people, and especially in this day and age, and I think, talking about it helps. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. There are an awful lot of people out there. My daughter and I were talking about this yesterday. We've had snow in New York City. It's a good 12 inches of snow that we've got. My grandson is elated, I have to tell you. At 7:30 this morning, uh, he was asking, "Can I go out, Mosey? Can I go out?" My eyes were sort of, almost, closed, but still. Uh, I opened the door and said, "Help yourself." I made sure, of course, I'm not such a mean grandmother. I made sure he put his Wellington boots on and his warm coat on, and he jumped outside and he's in the garden and he's jumping all over the snow and whooping and yelling and excited. And then we have this little sled that he has that he's going to be on today. And where am I going with this? But on the other side of the coin, talking of coins, on the other side of the coin, there are so many people that you see who have outdoor restaurants, and I'm sure it's the same way you are too, Chris, isn't it? So they have outdoor restaurants, and nobody's going to want to sit in 12 feet of snow. No matter how those heaters are pumping out there, nobody's going to really want to sit and have a nice meal in a restaurant in the middle of a snowstorm or in the middle of the snow. And my daughter and I were talking about this, how awful it is for so many people nowadays, so many people who have no jobs. They have therefore no money. COVID is around, so they don't even have the comfort of family and friends that they can rely on. And so many people are on their own at this time of year also. So if you know of someone, a neighbor, a friend, member of your family, if you know of someone, if you could reach out. Now, there's no excuse. If you have a phone of any kind these days, you can go on camera, you can call someone, you can send them a letter. I mean, we still do have postal service. If you know of someone and you can just send them, it takes 2 minutes to say, "I'm thinking of you," and wishing people a Merry Christmas, or wishing people a Happy Hanukkah, or wishing whatever it is, or just saying, "We're thinking of you," because there are so many people these days who are suffering, so many people without jobs, And that old saying, you know, the goose is getting fat. So many people cannot afford a goose or a turkey. So many people are really struggling, and it breaks my heart to see this. And, you know, when you're in a sort of snowbound a little bit, which is I am today, my daughter and my grandson are not, but I am. I'm not going out there. But when you're in that snowbound situation and you realize, you know, that there are so many people who this is a devastation because they can't go to work and they can't earn money and so on, and Christmas is coming and what do we do and so on and so forth. If you can think about this for yourselves, do not let pride get in the way of your going to either the Salvation Army, and they are brilliant. Go to the Salvation Army. Call your local, go to your local church or go to your local community center, because I'm sure that most towns and villages and cities, they will have places that we can go if you can't afford to get gifts for your kids. And for those of you who've got more money and more gifts than you know what to do with, well, I can tell you what to do with the toys and gifts that you don't know what to do with. Please, please, please give them, you know, give them to a family in need, or give them to an organization who will make sure that kids who are in need will get them. You know, do you remember, Chris, we always took a family with our group, the Rosemary Altea Association of Healers. We always took a family, and I personally took it upon myself to go shopping for the family, for the children. We would take on if there was a father present, we would always buy something for the father, always buy something for the mother, always buy some little goodies like, you know, those large cans of popcorn, or a packet of cookies or chocolate biscuits, as we would say, or, you know, the small things that people might not be able to afford, little luxuries. But then we would always ask for the sizes and the interest of the children. The last family we took was a family of 3 little girls. Boy, did I have great pleasure buying for those children. You don't have to take on a family. We as an organization took on a family. If you can't afford to take on a family, please do think of all of those people out there this Christmas and this, you know, this particular Hanukkah time and holiday time, and all those kids who see what they might consider to be the rich kids getting all these gifts, but why doesn't Santa Claus come to me? Please think about it. Please be generous. Please share as much as you can this Christmas, and please spend a few minutes of your day sending prayers to all of those who might just need a little bit of a helping hand this year. Chris.
Well, as you were telling that story, I was remember our wrapping parties. I mean, yeah. I think giving is for me, giving is more precious than receiving. There's just a certain energy about it that's giddy and hopeful and happy. So you're giving to yourself when you give to others.
Well, you're right. I used to have all the students come to the house, you remember? And
yeah,
and everybody would come, and some people would bring donating things. When you're donating toys and things like that, don't think, well, I can give this old ratty doll to somebody, because that's not what you need to do. When I was in the children's home, yes, I know I'm surprising some of you, but yes, when I was a child, I was in the children's home. I was in there twice. I have no recollection of quite how long I was in there for, but there was one year, I wish if I were at home in Florida now, I'd go and get this thing for you, because I still have it now. I was in the children's home. I was quite young, and you know, just a small child, and I didn't realize. I walked in. There's a sort of, they had like a big cafeteria place, and kids would sit at big round tables. There were probably 12 or more kids to a table, and we'd all have breakfast there. And if it was somebody's birthday, they would be called out, and the kid would have to go to the front of the cafeteria, where the headmistress of or whoever she was of the children's home was, and they would call out your name, and all the kids were singing happy birthday to you, and then they'd give you a gift. And this was a St. Bernard's home for kids, and they rely on people giving them, donating toys, donating. And I remember it was my birthday. I didn't realize it was my birthday, but my name was called out, and then everybody started singing happy birthday to me. And then I was given a parcel. And when I get back home to Florida, we'll talk about this again. Remind me, Chris, because we'll talk about this again. I'm going to show you what I received on that day. And I have to say, it was the first, and aside from one other time, the only birthday gift I ever received as a child. So I was quite stunned to sort of take this parcel. I didn't quite know what to do with it. And inside of this parcel was one of those, I suppose you could call it a rag doll, or anyway, it was a stuffed toy doll. This doll was so ugly, I have to say. It was it was a dark green body with the little flowers on it, and its face sort of was pink, a big round pink with a frill around the head. It looked like a big daisy. And I called her Daisy, and I still have that doll, and she might have been ugly, but she was lovely to me. But if you're going to donate, I mean, I have to say this doll was a little bit on the raggedy side when I received her, but I loved her anyway. As I say, she was the first, and aside from one other time, the only birthday gift I received. When I was growing up. So it was very special to me. So if you are thinking of donating, please, just don't think, oh, this is an opportunity to give out my old toys, although you can do that. And there are places that take broken toys and they repair them, and then they give them to children's homes and places like that. But just put a little thought into it. And what we try to do with Reese is we try to encourage him before Christmas. We empty out the toy box and we ask him, now let's see what you can do without, and can you give this and can you give that. And then my daughter takes it down to the local Goodwill store, or we take it to the Sally Army. We give it to the Sally Army. I'm a big Sally Army person. But, this time of year, if you could think of doing something like that, it's, and especially this year, because there are so many people losing their businesses. There are so many people losing their jobs. There are so many people losing their homes. And it's up to all of us to gather together. Instead of pointing the finger and blaming who's responsible, what we should be doing is, never mind who's responsible, can we just get going and do something about it? That's my attitude. So, Chris, all right, I'm done for the morning now. I've got off my soapbox.
I think it's a great soapbox to be on. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. And I think that those people listening who have been without, or who know that, the senior side of things, are probably more apt to think to give than perhaps people who are so used to always having had, something. So, just giving a little heads up and a little reminder out there, this is the time of year that we really, really need to pull all the stops out for the children. Right, I'm done now, Chris. That's it. Go.
Well, you have a lot of people on this morning, and there's a lot of hellos and good mornings to alls, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And Mark says he loved your limerick. Julia is saying hello, good morning from Florida. Enjoy your snow, and she's laughing about that.
Who is that saying that to me?
Julia.
Hey, Julia, I wish I were where you. No, I don't actually, because if I were where you were, if I was back in Florida, then I'm afraid I wouldn't have my grandson and my daughter with me, and the three of us together. We are having so much fun. my daughter came to me the other day. I was talking to my grandson. I was in the living room and we were sitting on the sofa, the two of us, and we were chatting, and I was explaining some things to him and telling stories as we always do. And my daughter was in the kitchen making his lunch, and she sort of came wandering out of the kitchen as she looked at us both. We were up on the sofa and she looked at us both with this very strange smile on her face. And I'm thinking, you know, she's going to come out with something funny here. But actually she came, she sat on the sofa and she looked at me and she said, you know, Mum, and she's all sweet and lovely, and that's the time I don't trust her the most. She's like, she said, you know, Mum, she said, when Reese is older, he's going to have some fantastic memories. And she meant fantastic memories with me. And I thought, wow, you know, there's such a nice thing to think about. So what we're trying to do here is to make some fabulous memories. Right. So hello to everybody out there who's saying hello.
Annie was, along with your theme, was saying we are on lockdown in Montreal until the 11th of January.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, even people we know here on the Facebook page could use some prayers and help.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with questions?
Anything you like.
All right.
I've done my bit.
Okay.
I'm just going to just be guided here.
All right. Well, we're going to start with Annie.
Good
Hi,
morning, Annie.
Rosemary. I'm heartbroken. My son hasn't spoken to me since March. He doesn't answer my calls. I try and nothing works. Rosemary, can you see why this is happening? I am exhausted.
Well, I think at this moment in time, Annie, I wouldn't focus so much on why. I would focus more on what can you do. And I think we talked about this fairly recently. You know, when my daughter was in her early 20s, she had a boyfriend who did everything in his power to come between us. Well, good luck with that, because it didn't work for me, and Annie, I don't want to let it work for you. What we have to do, and what I did, was that 2 or 3 times a week, not every day, but 2 or 3 times a week, I would call my daughter, because at this point she for some reason wasn't speaking to me, and you know, she had it in her head that I was at fault, and I don't care who's at fault here. It doesn't matter who's at fault. It doesn't matter who starts an argument. What matters is who finishes it. What matters is the person who puts it right. And what I used to do with my daughter, because she would see it was me calling, and what I would used to do with her was I'd just call and say, hi, darling, it's just me. Just hoping you're okay. Just letting you know that I love you, and I'll call again soon. Hope you're okay. Bye. And I would put the phone down. And I just kept persevering. Now, here's the thing. When you go into a situation, you think, you know, well, I've done that, now it's her turn. If you go in with expectations, or if you go in with, you know, your own rules about how things should work out, you're definitely going to be disappointed. The idea is to just let them know that you are there with them. Just let them know that you're around, and that whatever is going on, you love them anyway. And you know, don't wait for them to call you back, and don't get angry if they don't call you back, because whatever it is they're going through, they need to go through it by themselves. But what they need more than anything else is they need to know you are there for them, no matter what they think you did, no matter what you think they did, no matter what caused the argument. It really doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. So, darling, persevere. Just keep, you know, send a card, happy Christmas, send a birthday, happy birthday, do what you need to do, but don't move out of their lives. Just because he isn't speaking to you doesn't mean that you're out of his life unless you want to be. And the only way that you will be out of his life is if you stop making those things, doing those small things, like not sending the birthday card, like not calling to say I love you. You know, don't do that. Don't move out of his life. I know it's hard for you. I know how heartbroken. Kids are awful, aren't they? Can't they be awful to us? You know, we try our best. And we don't always get the thanks we think we deserve. But after all, I didn't become a mother so that my daughter would one day thank me. I became a mother because I wanted her, warts and all. And I think we have to remember that. So stop putting pressure on your children, everybody. Just if they're not speaking to you, if they've met somebody who, has convinced them that they're right about something and you're wrong about something, it's just a phase. It will pass. I promise you, Annie, it will pass. And in the meantime, if you just keep letting him know from time to time, I love you, whatever you're up to, whatever is going on there, I'm not interested in that. I just love you. And if you let them know that, that's all that's needed. So keep your chin up, darling. We'll put you on our healing prayers.
Okay. Cheryl's on.
Hi, Cheryl.
Did my BF's dad wake me up this morning saying his son's name?
Don't even go there. You know perfectly well what happened, Cheryl, of course.
And there was more. Did he also fix the laptop I thought died over a year ago?
I'm not going there, Chris.
Okay.
Cheryl, you know perfectly well what happened. Trust in your instincts, trust in your own self. You know enough to know that yes, you're getting a lot of help. So trust it. Okay? All right, Chris.
Jacqueline Ivy's on.
Hi, Jacqueline.
You're looking gorgeous and elegant in white.
Oh, thank you.
She wants to know, what is the difference between natural mediums versus someone who is developing? Thank you.
Massive. Huge difference. To be honest, I have never put myself in a position where I would train someone to be a medium, and I'm really not sure that you can train a person to be a medium. There is a huge difference between someone who has a natural ability. It's like playing the piano. If you have a natural gift and you play the piano, and then someone comes along and sits beside you and they have had to train and so on, you will always know the difference, won't you, between someone who is a natural cook, a natural musician, anybody who's natural at something. It will come to them. Not only will it come to them more easily, but they will have a heart to it that is hard for people who are training or have to train. Will find not that if you're training to be whatever it is, that you can't achieve somewhat some success. But if someone were to say to me, Rosemary, what would you recommend? Would you recommend that I go to see a medium who has been training for the last 8 or 10 years? Or would you recommend that I go to someone who is a natural born healer? You can tell the difference. Put them side by side. There's a massive difference. And I would always say to go to someone who has that natural ability, because that natural ability transcends and goes beyond anything that regular mediumship, if there is such a thing, can do. So I hope that answers your question. Yes, Chris, keep going.
Rosemary, can you follow up on that and state the difference between someone who has become sensitive versus someone who is training to be a medium?
Okay, there are a lot of us out there, a lot of people out there who have and who are what I would say are sensitive. They are sensitive, which means that they have this innate sense of knowing, of somehow being able to connect. They are sensitive to outside influences. They are sensitive to energy. But that doesn't make a medium. That is not being a medium. It's nowhere near being a medium. It's so difficult, because I know that people accuse me very often of saying I think I'm the best one out there. Well, and I actually don't think I'm the best one out there necessarily, but I know I'm really good at what I do. And if I didn't know that I was good at what I did, I wouldn't do it. I don't want to be a second rate anything. So it's very hard. I know that people want to be to sort of become more in tune, to raise their level of consciousness. I take classes, I teach students how to raise their level of consciousness, how to become more aware, how to become more in tune with the spirit world. But that is not being a medium. And raising your level of consciousness and becoming more in tune, you do have much more intuition and you do have much more of a connection to the spirit world. But it is not the same as being a medium. By no means, it is nowhere near the same as you know, doing what a spiritual medium would do. And I think that's covered that topic.
I think so. So
Okay.
the next person on is, I'm going to pronounce it probably wrong, so I apologize. Merete, Merete. Good
Well,
morning
that
to
was a
you.
good. I wouldn't know where to begin with that, Chris. So good for you. Good for you to try it out. So,
I
where is this person from?
Not from America, but I cannot tell. I
See, we'd
wish I
love to
wish it
know where you're
said
all
next to the
from.
names. Yeah.
We'd love to know where you're all from. I mean, if you know, because you know, we love the fact that we do seem to get a wide range of people. Yes, Chris. So carry on.
All right. So good morning to you. I wonder what Gray Eagle says about my hobby in 2021. I hope to be able to live of it, and also wonder if any of my grandparents have anything to tell me today.
Well, no, no. So, no, I'm not connecting at this moment with anyone who is connecting to you. I'm listening to Grey Eagle. I actually was, when you first started saying this, Chris, I thought, wow, okay, you know, what would Grey Eagle say? And I want to say to everybody, if you would like to hear Grey Eagle speak, you need to come to our webinar this Saturday morning. We're talking, the webinar is it conversations or
Yes.
conversations with angels? But we found out a few days ago that Grey Eagle will be in person, center stage, answering many of the questions that we have, and certainly talking to us a little bit about life, a little bit about the life that we need to lead. I'm sort of, I don't quite know exactly what he's going to be talking about, but I'm also hoping that we're going to have a visit to our seminar throughout the seminar from maybe an angel or two. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but I think hopefully it's a, I won't say it's a certainty, but it's a high possibility we will also be talking to an earth angel. I am so excited about this webinar. This is coming Saturday because Grey Eagle speaks. And I did say this morning in my little pre-thing for everybody. So I would like to explain what is the difference. And I know that people are going to be asking this at the webinar on Saturday. What is the difference between my saying to everybody, Grey Eagle is standing to my right side, as he always does? So what is the difference between him whispering in my ear, or not always whispering, but putting his hand on my shoulder and answering these questions, or giving insight into some of the questions and some of the situations that we're having here? What is the difference between, excuse me, him talking to me and helping me to answer your questions, and him actually speaking? And the difference is that when we're doing these shows and when I'm connecting with Grey Eagle under these circumstances, which are actually normal circumstances, the difference is that he is coming through me, I am listening to him, and I am trying to give his words as I hear them, but I'm also obviously giving my own views and opinions, and so I'm interpreting what he's saying. So it's very different than him actually being present and, let's say, center stage, which hopefully is going to happen on Saturday. Because even though it will look as if it's me, you will know the difference. You will hear the difference through his inflections, through the way that he speaks, through the way that he will come through and talk to us, you will know that he's bypassed me. Basically, I'm moved to the side and he's totally bypassed everything about me, and there he is, and very, very present. And he has never before, in more than 40 years, he's never before actually done this publicly. Now, he's done it in small groups, he's done it with students, he's done it in classes, he's sometimes done it with some of my patients as we've gone to visit patients to give them healing. So he's done it in those ways, but he has never actually taken center stage on a public forum. So if anyone out there has always wanted to, I know that in America you call it channeling, but I would never ever say that I was going to channel Grey Eagle, because I'm not doing anything. I'm just standing to the side and letting him do his own thing. But he is a very highly evolved spiritual being. He is very wise. When he was on this earth plane, he was a shaman. He was a healer. He is the one who steers and guides me and helps me in the work that we do. And so he will literally, yes, be using my voice box, yes, be using me, but he will be speaking through me, not to me, so I can pass on what he's saying. Am I making that clear, Chris? Am I making clear the difference?
I understand it.
Okay. I don't know if we answered the previous question, but that's all I've got to say on that for now. I'm so excited about Saturday, and it's a Christmas special, so we're having a 3-hour, yes, with angels, with Grey Eagle, and with all of you lovely people who are coming to the webinar. So we're very excited, right?
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be phenomenal.
Well, how long have we known each other, Chris? How long have you been a student of mine?
Since the year 2000.
So that's 20 years. And you've never heard Grey Eagle speak, have you?
No.
Are you excited?
I'm excited and nervous. I don't want to screw up.
I was a bit shocked when he said, I'm going to be there and I'm going to answer these questions. So I was a bit shocked, but I'm very, very excited about the whole thing. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that all goes smoothly and we don't have an upside down screen.
Oh, goodness. Let's not even go there. Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Well, so Morette's question was not only did she have her grandparents around, but it was also she has a hobby, or he or she has a hobby.
We're moving on from that. That's as much as I can say from that for now.
Okay. Suzanne says, I love the gray sheep in the back. Looks very cozy. And she wants to know, is there any message for her?
No, not this morning. No.
Okay, then there's Annalisa.
Good morning, Annalisa.
I tried to follow your precious advice about the way I should direct my relationship with my partner. A third person is among us. I fought for years. She's in his mind, and I am slowly and inexorably vanishing from his world, regardless of my efforts and tons of tears. Now I am really upside down, as you were the last time I saw you. Please tell me, is there anything else I can do?
Annalisa, this is the one thing. Now listen to me. Now pay attention, my darling. As hard as you may find these words to hear, you should not be putting your life on hold for anyone else. If this man does not value you, if your partner does not value you, in any relationship that you have, if you are not valued, then you are made less, and you're allowing yourself to be made less. I want you to finish crying your tears. You're allowed to keep crying, my darling, for as long as you, well, not for as long as you want, for as long as you want in the next month. And then I want you to move forward. I want you to build your life, my love. I want you to be who you want to be. Stop allowing other people to dictate who you are, and stop fighting for a relationship that somebody else doesn't value. Please don't do that, because you're much better than that. You're much more than that. And you deserve happiness. And whenever you're hanging on to this, you're not, you've tried. It didn't work. Move on. Take a big deep breath. Grab hold of my hand. I'll carry you. I'll take you there until you can do this on your own. Just think about me sending you prayers and sending you healing. Be your own self. Be true to your own self, and never ever allow another person to make you feel less, because you are not. Yes, Chris.
Mark made a comment from what you were talking about earlier. I have always believed in the little things we do for anyone are the most looked at from heaven. We tend to look at just us, our own needs. I posted on my Facebook a photo I took of the full moon, and I added a meme to it with, "What you appreciate appreciates." We need to look at who we have in our life, not our material things, but the things we appreciate in our world, the small things, the people who have affected us in some way.
Well, Mark, I'm going to agree 100% with you, but I am going to do a little addendum to that. And yes, it's all very well saying, this is not about material things, but there are a lot of people out there in the snow today going cold and hungry. And we can send them our prayers and we can send them our wishes, but sometimes we need to do a little bit more. So, I always feel if I've got a pound or a dollar in my pocket, then it's there for a reason. If I need it to feed my family, that's where it's going. If I need it to buy, I don't know, a new lipstick, or if I need it to rent a movie or something, I can do without it. And I'll give it to someone else. I'll put it to something else. Of course, don't do it if you can't afford to do it. You have to take care of you and your family first and foremost. Of course you do. But in this world of ours today, it is so materialistic that we do need to have a practical side to it as well. So I agree with you, Mark, but also there's that, practical side of me that comes forward as well. And if I'm looking, if do you know the story of the matchstick girl, Chris? The little
Oh,
matchstick girl.
it's devastating. That one makes me cry every time.
It's a story about a matchstick girl in Victorian times who was she sold matches on the street, just like you see people today selling fruit or vegetables or flowers or whatever it is. And in Victorian times, it was called the Little Matchstick Girl, and it's a wonderful story. You can Google it. And it's about how she's looking through the window and seeing all the bright lights and all the baubles on the Christmas tree. She's seeing the wonderful food being put on the table, and she's just this child all by herself. And remember, however old you are, we are all children of God. So when you're reading about the matchstick girl, you're thinking this is about children. No, we are children of God, all of us. This is about each and every one of us. And if you're looking through a window and you're feeling lost and you're feeling alone, take yourself off to the Salvation Army, would you? Do that. They'll take you in. They'll embrace you. Lots of other places, I'm sure, will do the same. But there's no need for any of us to be cold and lonely. Swallow your pride if you have to. I've done it a few times. I'll tell a story one day about having to swallow my pride and having to beg for my daughter's school uniform. I'll tell you that story. So I've been there. I know what it's like to be without. I know what it's like to watch my children go with my daughter to go without. And so we do have to be practical. So if you think of the little match girl, and then you understand that we're all children of God. So it's not about a child necessarily. It's about all of us. And if you know of someone who is struggling, sometimes even if we can't necessarily afford it ourselves, you got to be practical too. Right, Chris?
Cheryl says we have several blessings boxes around my neighborhood and fill them all the time.
Oh, good, good. I like that, Cheryl. Good for you.
Mark had a question for Grey Eagle and you. It seems like Grey Eagle is always at your right side. Does he always stand or sit on your right side? And if so, may I ask why? Also, which side does L do my spirit guide stand and
Well,
G
you
my
should
personal
know.
angel stand?
I'm not going to tell you that because you should be feeling that yourself. But Grey Eagle, yes, he always stands to my right side. It's odd because it's not whether he's sitting or standing or what he's doing. It's it's this odd thing that happens, and really we should perhaps leave this more for Saturday. It's a Saturday more. It's a Saturday question, a webinar question, but there is this odd thing that happens when I'm working, and it's sort of like a left brain, right brain thing. Do not ask me to explain it right now, but if you are, I think, Mark, coming to the webinar, so if the opportunity arises, you might want to ask the question again, and I may or may not answer it, or Gregor may or may not answer it. So there we have it. Yes, Chris.
Marzina is on.
Good morning, Marzina. Nice name.
Hello, Rosemary. My kind regards from Warsaw, Poland.
Oh.
If you have any message for me, or maybe regarding my creative projects, my mission, my purpose, it would be interesting what you would sense. Would appreciate any news. Thank you.
Well, I would never sense anything. So I don't do that. I don't sense. I talk to Grey Eagle and he talks to me. So we have a conversation. That's how it works. And I I don't particularly he's not really answering to the fact of what it is that you specifically do. However, I can tell you that you are from what he tells me, you're such a creative person, and the world, the world is at your feet. Discipline is your biggest issue. So as long as you can sort of hold the discipline and make sure that you can stay disciplined, you can achieve so much. And of course, we all know, don't we, that if you don't have any discipline, you're lost, really. You don't, you can only achieve if you get on with it and do it. It's like the person who continually says, "Oh, I wish I could win the lottery," but they never buy a ticket. So if you don't buy a ticket, you're never going to win the lottery. So that's as much as I can say. Discipline, discipline, but the world is at your feet. Chris.
Annie's asking, can you please add me to your prayers? I have been hospitalized for severe nosebleeds to the point I'm anemic. I'm waiting for surgery.
Well, my darling, of course, we'll put you on our healing list, absolutely, and we will send you prayers. And you can, if you want to be added to our healing list, you can do it on one of two ways. You can go to our you can go to our webpage, rosemaryaltea.com, and there's a place there that you can put your name down for healing. While you're doing that, you need to subscribe. Everybody subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but that way you do get newsletters and you do get different information and so on from time to time. We will not inundate you every day with it, but maybe 4 or 5 times a month you'll get something from us. But it will always be telling you what it is we're up to, what it is we're going to be doing next. Also, if you would like to email Chris at Rosemary Altea. I've got it. Did I do that right? Chris at rosemaryaltea.com. Yes. Did I do that? And asked to be put on the healing list. Absolutely, we will absolutely do that for you, my lovely. And please, can you just keep us posted on how you're doing? Even as I'm talking to you, I'm sending you some little stuff out there. Don't know if you can feel it, but I'm zapping you a little bit. Yes, Chris.
Mary's asking, is there any advice from Grey Eagle or the spirit world for me? Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you too, and not today. But you never know. You've got to keep trying, right? Yes, Chris.
Melody's asking or commenting, the last 2 nights I have been seeing rats in my dream. They don't harm me. Can you tell me what that might mean? Thank you.
Well, Melanie, I'm not a I'm not an expert on dreams and dreaming, but I can tell you, I know that we consider rats to be horrible creatures because they do like to go down drains and things like that. But my understanding of them is that they're extremely intelligent creatures also. And I know that people have pet rats who just adore them and think they're fabulous. So I've no idea what the dream means, but I just thought you might want to know. They're not such awful creatures as sometimes we think they are.
Annie had followed up with the previous question, wondering if Gray Eagle could see if the surgery will be happening soon.
Well, he does have his hand on my shoulder, so I am paying attention to this. You are not to worry, and it will happen in its right time, when it is the right time, and you are not to worry. And that from Grey Eagle is a huge, to be reassured. Yes, Chris.
Agnes wants to know if you have any news of her mom.
No, what we're trying to do today, and I know that lots of people want messages from their loved ones, but what we're trying to do today is to get in as many questions as we possibly can, because on Saturday, we would normally take questions on Saturdays at story time, but because it's our webinar this Saturday, we will not be doing that this week. So, but don't give up, keep trying.
Morette let us know that they're from Norway.
Oh, great.
That's a place I've always wanted to visit.
Is it really?
Yeah. Diane says, it's sad, but I haven't celebrated Christmas in the past couple of years. Maybe you would be able to provide me with some words of wisdom to pull myself out of this slump.
Yeah, get your bottom off the chair, young lady. What are you thinking of? How can you not? Well, a lot of people don't celebrate Christmas because they don't necessarily have a connection with Christ, and they don't necessarily have a connection with Christ as I would know him. I grew up in not grew up, but my mother used to send us all on a Sunday afternoon. She would send us all to the church at the top of the hill where I lived, and it was a Baptist church. And unlike Baptist churches in America where they sing and dance and have lots of fun, in England a Baptist church is much quieter and much more refined, and so on and so forth. But these people in my church were my family, where I learned about Christ and I grew up with Christ, and I've known Christ and been intimate with Christ for all of my life, since I can remember. You don't necessarily have to believe in anything or anyone. You don't even necessarily have to believe in God. What you have to believe in, if you can, is you have to believe in the fact that celebrating, whether it is Christmas or a birthday, or just celebrating the fact that your grandson is running outside in the snow while I'm sitting here doing this, which is preferable for me because it's too cold out there, but there's always something to celebrate. And if you are a person who has become so low and so down and so downcast that you find it difficult, you've got to just give yourself a good shake. Think about me on Christmas Day. Think about your family. Think about your loved ones. Think about your loved ones in the spirit world, my darling. Think about your loved ones in the spirit world who are looking at you even as I'm speaking to you. And they're so sad for people who cannot find a reason to celebrate. They are so sad for us, and our angels are so sad for us. And I will often say to people, and again, I don't know why this is, but we're back to the webinar again. But our angels, when I have seen angels, and I've seen angels many, many, many times, and there are different angels and different roles for different angels. When I see angels and they look at us, they don't look at us with any kind of judgment, but they sometimes look at us with sad eyes. They're very sad for us. And if you've ever seen an angel look at you with sad eyes because you're doing something or not doing something that they feel is harmful to you or damaging to you, you would get up now and start baking and making a cake or finding a reason to celebrate, young lady, because that's what you need to be doing. Don't ever disappoint your angels. Please don't do that. They're not judging you, but they just wish that you could do better for yourself. So think about me and think about, what we're going to be doing on Saturday. We're going to be talking to angels. Now, come on. Even if you can't make the webinar, even if you can't be there, isn't that something to be joyful about? Because I feel very strongly that it is. Chris.
It reminds me of some of the exercises you've given us in the past about a gratitude list. The
Yes.
simple thing when you wake up in the morning about I have a bed to sleep in, or warm covers, or indoor plumbing, or a toothbrush. I mean, just a gratitude list would be a great thing.
Yes. Yes, that's a good idea, Chris. I think we should all make a gratitude list today, don't you? I'm grateful for the fact that I am not the old lady who sits at the corner of the street in the snow and the cold today.
Yeah. Bella's on. Thank
Morning,
you.
Bella.
Thank you so much for sending the picture of Gray Eagle, so that she must be on your newsletter. Can you ask him if he ever visited Scalp Level Road? Many years ago, I lived on that road and I saw an Indian in my bedroom.
Oh, I can't. No, I can't. He's not. That's no. I can't. I'm not getting an answer. Not sure why I'm not, because it would be. You would think it would be a simple yes or no, but it actually doesn't work that way. So it isn't a simple yes or no. I do have to say to you, though, all of you out there who've seen the picture of Grey Eagle, he does not look quite as you might see him. To me, he is not quite as dark skinned. His face is a little longer. One of these days, I'm going to get a friend of mine who's an artist. I'm going to get a friend of mine to actually sketch him as I see him. But I think, was I talking to you, Chris, about this?
You were.
That in whatever year it was, I can't remember if it's the late 1800s or the early 1900s, they had a delegation of Native Americans who came to the peace talks, and there were sketch artists who would sketch all the different Native Americans coming in. It was a big thing. And so what you have there is a sketch of Grey Eagle, and he is Apache, and we can actually. I mean, I didn't discover this picture until long after he and I had formed our whatever that is, relationship, friendship. I didn't, he could have been a figment of my imagination for all I knew. And then I finally came to, where did I go to? Arizona or California or somewhere, and found this amazing thing. And there he was, Grey Eagle Apache. Wow. Can you imagine? I'm a little English girl. I don't do Native Americans. And then, years after, there he is. And there's the evidence right in front of your eyes. Wow. Not that I needed it, by the way. Chris.
Albertine said, Gray Eagle is a beautiful man. Thank you for sharing his picture.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Our friend Jeff says, I'm looking forward to Saturday. Thank you. I have my ticket.
Oh gosh. Oh, Jeff, I'm so pleased. I was thinking about you the other day. I was going to, how it goes in and out of your head. I was going to text you because I don't know if your granddaughter is still with you or not. Whether she was staying for Christmas. I have a feeling that they left. But anyway, sorry, we're doing a little bit of personal stuff here. Oh, Jeff, I'm so thrilled. I hope you've got your questions ready.
Jacqueline Ivy wants to know, when Gray Eagle is there Saturday, will you be in a trance?
No, I will not be in a trance. And I'll explain more of that as we open the webinar. I will explain more about how these things are going to work. I shall be, no, I'm going to, that'll do. I'll explain it more on Saturday.
Okay.
And, basically I'll just say that there are many stages of trance, but there are basically 3 stages of trance that mediums use, and I won't be in any one of the three, I'll be removed. I'll be standing to the side. I will be able to hear everything that he's saying. I'll be able to hear everything that everybody else is saying. But he will, I'm handing over, just giving it over, and we'll sound so excited. We'll see what happens.
All right. Brooks is on saying, I'm becoming so discouraged. I'm working so hard to rebuild my horse training / teaching business. But for the first time in 62 years, I'm feeling a failure, stressed, and a bit despondent. Do you have any advice?
I do. Who is this again?
Brooks Equine.
Brooks. Gosh, well, listen to me, young lady, not so young lady. Look at what you've achieved. Look at what you've done. Everyone is struggling right now. You're not the only one. And so, they say misery loves company. Sometimes knowing that everybody's in an awful situation can make us feel much worse, because it makes us feel, are we ever going to come out of this slump? Are we ever going to get things to rights? But this is a message from Grey Eagle to you, and I hope it brings you out of this slump that you're in, because it jolly well should do, because this is from him specifically to you. You are beautiful. You have the most amazing energy, the most amazing healing energy. You know how they have the dog whisperer and the horse whisperer and all of that? They've got nothing on you, have they? You are beautiful. And God will find a way to help you. Your angels will find a way to help you. But you do have to help yourself a little bit as well. So come out of that funk if you can. Just know that you are being watched, you're being cared for, you're being guided. And, you'll never lose this wonderful thing that you have going on here. And you'll always be a healer. How lovely is that? So I hope that gives you a reason to smile today. Chris.
Just a couple more minutes before noon. Bet is saying
how did that happen?
And I'm sitting, every week I sit here and I look at how many questions we can't get to, and I wish we could keep going on. But
I know.
Yeah, this is just the best job in the world.
Well, good. I'm glad. It's an awful job in one way, isn't it? Because I can't pay her anything, really. Sorry, Chris. I wish I could pay you what you're worth. I'd be bankrupt if I could pay you what you were worth, actually. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. Go on, Chris. Sorry.
So Bet is saying my daughter, 16, occasionally sees objects that move when she is in her room, like a bottle that falls or a brush that turns by itself. She isn't afraid, but does not understand who is there. Can you help?
Well, I think she is what we call asensitive, particularly beautiful child. And at her age, especially at her age, everything's about energy. And you sort of get through those sort of mid to late maybe early teens, in sometimes into early 20s, where your hormones are changing, things are changing with your body, and naturally things are changing with your energy too. And I think that this is what's happening with her energy is changing and evolving. I'm glad she's not afraid, because there's nothing to be afraid of. And I just feel that a lot of this is down to her energy. And I just think it's fascinating. Better just keep us posted, will you, on how she does this, girl, because I think she's very special. Yes.
All right. Dean's got a great question.
Good morning, Dean.
Did Grey Eagle have a student like you before he came to you?
Why are you asking these questions that should be left for the webinar, Dean? But I'll tell you the answer anyway. No, he did not. He and I have always been together. My understanding is that we have always been together. We've always worked together in one way or another. So, I don't know which of us. It was sort of when I came to this earth, I used to think, which of us got the short end of the stick? You know, would I have been better off staying there and letting him come back? Not that he would have necessarily done it, but I sometimes, you know, think, you know, have I got the short end of the stick here? And then I think to myself, of course I haven't, because I have, without a doubt, Chris, I'm sorry to say this to you, but I have the best. I'm the one who has the best job in the world, because what I do is, I just think it's absolutely phenomenal. I don't think there's anything like it, and I wouldn't be able to do it if Gregor were not by my side, and doing all the fabulous stuff that he does. And for the first time on Saturday, wow. I mean, I've witnessed this before. I've seen it before. Of course I have. But to do this publicly is something new. And, you know, in our world, Chris, in this world where we're always learning new things, but truthfully, the new things are just really very old. There's not that much that is new, is there? Really, really new. But this is new.
So we have noon. There's one more request for healing. Valvacious' sister-in-law, Angela, is battling breast cancer. Chemo doesn't seem to be working. She cannot go to a minister. A minister cannot come to see her because of COVID-19. So we'll get her on the healing list.
I'll come see you. You tell her I'll come and see her, Valvacious. I'll come see your sister, because I've got ways and means of doing it. So we will travel there and give her healing, because, you know, years and years ago there was a reporter, a Western reporter who tried desperately for years and years to interview the Hopi Indian nation, somebody in the Hopi Indian nation, and the Hopis are in somewhere near the Grand Canyon. Anyway, he finally got his interview, and one of his questions to one of the grandfathers of the tribe was, what do you think about man sending a rocket to the moon? And the old man looked at this young reporter, and he said, I'm a little bit puzzled. Why would man build a machine to go to the moon when he can get there perfectly well all by himself? So I'll come and visit your sister, Valvacious. We'll give her some healing. We'll send her some healing. Okay. Yes, Chris.
So we've reached time.
I've left everybody there with a dozen questions, haven't I?
At least. But you've got live interviews today on Interviews with Innocence. That's at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. You're prepping for your Saturday webinar, which tickets can still be had through Eventbrite. And that's for Saturday, 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. So it's a little bit longer webinar.
If you'd like to go to the website, rosemaryaltea.com, it's all one thing, rosemaryaltea.com, and you'll go to my website, and there is a place there where you can click if you do want to know, even if you don't want to come to the webinar. There's a place there you can click on it. You can find all the information that you need. Go to the website and check it out. You'll see little video clips, you'll see stories, all sorts of things on there, right, Chris?
Absolutely.
And Chris and my daughter Samantha really got that going amazingly, and then it's a lovely site, so go there and check that out. I'll say it again, rosemaryaltea.com, and there'll be a place there if you want to join. There'll be a place, I think, on the website where you can click for tickets. But Chris, I do believe you've put up the link to go take people straight to Eventbrite. When you go to Eventbrite, you click on the thing, and then you just put my name in there. There's only one of me. You won't get sent anywhere else. There's just one of me. Put my name in there, and you'll be able to see not just this upcoming Saturday's webinar, but we're doing one in January. We're doing a few in February, because, well,
the soul signs one, that's going to be so good. Actually,
know,
they're all so good.
Let's not to talk too much, but after Christmas we will have a little special surprise for Valentine's Day for all of you. So just keep posted, but go to the website. You'll find out all about that stuff. Anything else here, Chris?
No, I think you need a little break before your afternoon.
Yeah, I've now got to scoot because I've got whatever it is. It's just the whole thing that with Marla.
Yes, on Interviews with Innocence.
Yes, where will people find it?
Interviewswithinnocence.com. I think if you go
Right.
to that site.
So if you go there, it's going to be a whole session of an hour and something of just question and answers, just like this, done with Marla, and she's lovely. And I've been on her shows before and told stories and so on, so you can check that out. And if you're not sure where to go, again, go to my website, rosemaryaltea.com, and you'll find me there. So I think that's it. Chris, thank you so much once again for an amazing job. And for those of you who are coming to the webinar, we'll see you then. For those of you who can't make it, we shall see you next Thursday at the same time doing this show. And we shall be having is that Christmas? We'll let you know because Christmas is in the way, but we shall continue with our story times on Saturdays. When we're not doing our webinars, we'll be continuing with our story times on Saturdays. But keep checking in, and the best way to do that is to go to the website, keep checking in to see what it is that we're up to. For those of you who are coming to the website, yeah, can't wait to see you all there. And it'll be very exciting. And remember, it is our Christmas special, so we're hoping for a little magic. I think we've already had it, right? We've already got that magic. And I'd like to say thank you specifically and especially to Grey Eagle, because he's phenomenal and fabulous. So I'm thanking him too, because I know that you'd all want me to thank him, right, on your behalf. So we're doing that too. And especially thank you to all of you for your wonderful warmth and just your support. What would I do without you all? Oh, I would be an unknown. We can't have that, can we?
No,
what
no,
would we
no.
do what would we do without our loved ones in the spirit world? Well, we don't have to do without them. So from them to all of you, blessings. Please, all of you, have a very blessed rest of the day, and have a wonderful and blessed weekend. So that's it. Bye, everyone.